Have you ever stopped to think about how personal information about you could be seen or exploited by people online? Most people don't think twice, but your data is constantly being mined to be used against you, and hackers anywhere could be waiting for a chance to get their hands on a password or your credit card number. Protect yourself today with Virtual Shield's VPN. A VPN, or virtual private network, masks your IP address online and encrypts your data, making it nearly impossible for anybody to look at what you're sending. It's incredibly easy to use. All you do is connect through your app on your computer, phone, tablet, and it costs only dollars per month. Check the description below to learn more about Virtual Shield's VPN. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's Wednesday, July 8th, and I've got your SITREP situation report of the day. Got a lot to work through, so I'm going to have to move quick, and we're going to start with Q. No new Q drops, but of course we do have more hit pieces coming out of the mainstream media. We'll start with CNN's rendition. They're still printing this days later. Michael Flynn posts video featuring QAnon slogans. Dude, that happened 4 days ago when Flynn uploaded his Take the Oath video to his Twitter account, and CNN is still writing about this? That just reeks of desperation. And lo and behold, the expert that they pointed to in this article to give their top-notch advice on QAnon is none other than Mike Rothschild. Because when I want the best and latest and greatest and most unbiased information on QAnon, that's exactly who I think of. Mike Rothschild. Oh, man. Can't get any more pathetic than that. Next up, Business Insider and their version. Congress could see an influx of QAnon conspiracists join its ranks following this year's election cycle. I talked about this in my last video that I posted Monday. I'll talk about it again here. The mainstream media is going very hard against anybody who merely hints or suggests or promotes QAnon positively in any way, shape, or form. So if that happens to be you, if you're running for some sort of political office and you're a QAnon supporter, be very careful. Handle that with care. There's a lot of responsibility in what you say and how you say it on the internet because they are looking to target you. And the same warning that I'll reiterate again here as well is that just because somebody says they're promoting QAnon and just because they are running for a political office doesn't mean that you should go and vote for them and that they have all of our best interests in mind. I have seen at least, I would say, one shill account that claims to be a QAnon supporter and is running for some sort of congressional seat. There could be more, but definite infiltrators who, this one that I'm referring to already has a blue check mark somehow on Twitter, and they're also on Facebook, but they claim to be a Q supporter, tweet a lot of things that look pro-Q, but then they just tweet some totally asinine stuff, crazy claims, things that quite obviously make the person look nuts, and that just gives the fake news media perfect ammunition to smear the whole movement and smear Q, doesn't it? So be very careful for those infiltrators. Next up, Kanye, all right? What the hell is Kanye doing? What is he thinking? I don't know, but we're getting some more information on whatever his plans are for his election campaign that I guess he's trying to do. A lot of people were first thinking that he's running for the 2024 election, but he sort of clarified that I guess Kanye West is running for the 2020 election. That's what he said. He reveals that he's no longer supporting Trump. He said that he's taking his red hat off. That's what he said in an interview. And also said some other really weird things. Something that I thought was intriguing, though, is that he claimed that vaccines were the mark of the beast and that he is super suspicious of any vaccines coming out for the coronavirus. So, dude, I don't know if he's trolling all of us. I don't know if he's some asset that's been activated and showing his true colors now and just trying to divide the Trump base or whatever the heck. Maybe that's the case. Or maybe this is some sort of deeper scheme, deeper counter-intel operation going on. You think Kanye West coming out, running for the presidential election, sure, he's going to want to distance himself from Trump a little bit. That's going to make a lot more people that are anti-Trump, that are left-wing, I guess we could say, scratch their head, maybe take him a little more seriously. So maybe he is trying to steal votes from Biden. Might work. And with him going off against vaccines too, that was definitely interesting to me because we'll get to that conversation in a minute or two, but that's something that Trump can't exactly do right now is expose vaccines, but heck, get Kanye out there. He'll go off on vaccines. Sounds like he's got nothing to lose saying all this other crazy crap. So we'll see. We'll see how this whole Kanye thing turns out. Next up, Harvard and MIT are suing officials, suing the U.S. government actually, over blocking some of their immigration students. And this is because in recent days, a lot of colleges have announced that they're switching to online-only classes, or the majority of their classes are going to be online only this upcoming school year. Well, in the law for the visas that these immigration students have to obtain, it says that they have to have in-person classes. They can't be online-only classes. So a lot of immigration students are having to get out of the country and be deported. They can't study at their universities anymore because by law, the law that was already on the books, the law that was already there that they knew they had to abide by, they've got to be at the college in person, physically there. So the fake news media, they're trying to use this angle to attack the Trump administration and make them look like a bunch of racist people that are kicking the immigrants out, but that's not true. It's literally just they're following the law by the books. If they didn't like that law, they should have tried to change the books. But Harvard and MIT are apparently throwing a bitch fit over this. We sure as heck know there's a lot of spies at Harvard and MIT and these other top colleges. A lot of their students, a few of them at least, I would venture to guess, are not really students. Plus, how much money, foreign money, that they're illegally getting. Harvard, Yale, MIT, these other colleges. It's been said a lot of that money's coming from China, some other countries too, Saudi Arabia and others. So this is totally political, this move from Harvard and MIT. So that's the way I'm seeing it. And next up, another political fool who is now retiring, I guess he says, Vindman. Remember that impeachment witness who came forward? And earlier this year, they were trying to impeach Trump with this guy's testimony. Adam Schiff implicated in the leaking and all that stuff. Well, anyway, he's saying that he is retiring from the Army now. So, good riddance. Get him out of there. It's just the Army, though. I would imagine that he's still spooking around for the CIA, most likely. How long is it going to take for that guy to end up on CNN or with a book deal? I'll bet on that. Give it a couple weeks. Okay, now let's move on into coronavirus updates. So first off, let's talk about that death count that the mainstream media seems to not want to touch. Or if they do touch the story of the coronavirus death count, they're trying to downplay it big time, basically saying that it doesn't matter at all, which that's like the most important statistic, isn't it? The fatality rate, the death count. I mean, that shows us how bad it really is. So anyway, here is a article out of Breitbart. They aren't really mainstream, but they're at least courageous enough to touch on this. Daily coronavirus deaths in U.S. drop. They have dropped so much now that I actually did some research. Surprisingly, I know, right? Me doing research. I looked up how many deaths there actually are per day now, and it's almost under 500. It's kind of hovering around there, if not lower than 500. That's for the whole country per day at this point in time. If you look back to just a couple of years ago, to the 2018 flu season, which was a bad flu season, but it's not like we were all locking down and having to wear masks mandatorily, right? Well, during the 2018 flu season, there were 80,000 deaths, or at least that's what was claimed. If you do the math, if we say the flu season runs from October to March or something like that, 5 or 6 months, that was about 500 deaths per day during the 2018 flu season. We are now below that, or hovering right around that at the very least for coronavirus. So there's some logic for you. There's another statistic or comparison you can add to your arsenal. We are now death count wise down to the 2018 flu season, if not below that. So this is hardly a pandemic anymore if it ever was in the first place, And speaking of stats, experts, freaking experts that aren't really experts about anything, but that's what they call them. Experts say Americans will have to wear masks for several years. You've got to be kidding me. There's all these narratives and talking points going on out there about we're having to mask up until either a vaccine is found. That's what some people's narratives are. It's stupid as that is. They're saying we have to find a vaccine or just wear the mask until like June 2021 or 2022 even. Like, it's absolutely crazy. And, okay, so we have death counts down. The reason why they're saying we need all these masks and vaccines and stuff is because the testing is up. I mean, we even have the Brazil president, Bolsonaro. News broke yesterday that he tested positive for the coronavirus. Let's have a word really quickly on tests. Tests. Just because it says you test positive for the coronavirus, guess what? That doesn't mean you have coronavirus. Holy crap. What a freaking concept. I would venture to say that every single number we have in terms of what's gone on with this coronavirus pandemic, hysteria, all this nonsense for the last 6 or 7 months, none of them are reliable. Death count, test count, fatality rate, none of it's reliable because it's all based on false assumptions or bad foundations of understanding. It's all guesswork. The deaths. We know how the death numbers are inflated, aren't they? Oh, you died of flu? Nope, that was coronavirus. Oh, you died in a car accident? Nope, that was coronavirus. Even if they presumed deaths. Remember, just a few months back, they were counting those as coronavirus, even if it was just a presumption. So the death count could be manipulated. The test count, holy crap. Remember pawpaws and goats being tested for coronavirus? Positive. So how many false positives do we have? How many of these test kits are tainted, coming back positive no matter if you test fruit or goat or animal DNA, whatever the heck. So, it's so bad. You can't literally believe any of it at all, if you're being honest with yourself. So, back onto the news of the Brazilian president, though. He says he's now taking hydroxychloroquine, HCQ. That's just funny. And that's, to be expected. Bolsonaro is a friend of Trump. They're trying to make each other look good. They're trying to make hydroxychloroquine look good. And the fake news media and all the propagandist idiots out there look real bad, which they are. The mainstream media is trying all they can to brush this under the rug. Scientists have long said it doesn't work. They've long said hydroxychloroquine doesn't work. What? That makes no sense because wasn't hydroxychloroquine on the list of essential medicines for decades? It's been used everywhere. We have plenty of instances of scientists who have found that, yes, it does work. And it goes to show you their neurolinguistic programming right there. They point to their experts. They point to their scientists. When these people are hardly experts, hardly scientists, they just regurgitate talking points. That's it. They're puppets. They're puppets telling you lies. And holy crap, if we're talking about lies, the fake news media peddles lies for big pharma on the daily. Not just about hydroxychloroquine, but about another potential treatment that should be a treatment for coronavirus. But of course, big pharma, chlorine dioxide. There's so many things that could treat coronavirus. Let's be real. There's so many ways that we could, but unfortunately we have an FDA and a CDC and a pharmaceutical industrial complex that is still horribly corrupted. So sooner we wake up to that, sooner we can get these cures out to the public, really. So moving on now, let's talk the U.S. officially withdrawing from the World Health Organization. About time. Quite honestly, I thought this happened already, but now it's official. So that's great. World Death Organization. All the POTUS haters are trying to get at him for this one, but trust me, that is a fantastic thing for our health in the long run. And on the other hand, though, while the U.S. withdrawing from the World Health Organization is great, gotta be honest, something yesterday happened that was not so great from the Trump administration. Apparently, they threw $1.6 billion behind a company called Novavax for a vaccine. Novavax. Now, okay, let's get into that vaccine conversation then. I will say, I do understand when President Trump has to support vaccines for the cameras, okay? You should very well be able to understand why he has to do that. He has to do that for the optics. If he just comes out anti-vaccine right now, the mainstream media would have a field day on his ass. So he sort of has to toe the line strategically. That's just what he has to do right now on various subjects, vaccines being one of them. So sometimes he does have to support vaccines, but that doesn't mean that I have to support him supporting vaccines. I'll be real with you. That's not a good thing. So let's hope that's just for the optics, and let's hope that they're going to say, like, track where that money goes. Maybe they'll be able to find out some details on the deep state and big pharma with this funding. I don't know. But nevertheless, Novavax's stock went up $20 yesterday, just one day. Like 30%, I think, from around the 70s to up to 100, over 100. Holy crap. I sure hope there wasn't any insider trading going on with Novavax there. And here's another detail on Novavax. You might know this if you were watching my videos, say around February or March, when all this coronavirus stuff first dropped and we were all researching it super heavily, trying to figure out what was actually going on. Well, I put out multiple videos talking about Novavax, talking about how Novavax, one of the very first companies that we learned about that was going to be researching a coronavirus vaccine, they're being funded or supported for this COVID vaccine by an organization called CEPI, C-E-P-I. And off the top of my head, I believe CEPI stands for the Center for Emergency Preparedness Innovations or something like that. Basically, what my point is here, though, is that CEPI, that center, they're funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation funds CEPI, who funds Novavax, who's creating the coronavirus vaccine. So you kind of have to go like a couple degrees of separation there, but nevertheless, you're seeing that, holy shit, we're getting a lot of money going into a basically Bill Gates vaccine right now. And then, woo, that's making some money, isn't it? Novavax shares going up. It's right there. It's right there in front of all of our freaking faces. Sick stuff. So moving on now to talking Ghislaine. We got some Ghislaine updates. They took her to the New York prison, the same New York prison, I believe, where Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself. Quite obviously, some people out there are still trying to toe the line, toe the narrative that Epstein killed himself. It's like, use your brain. Anyway, moving on. So they took Ghislaine to that New York prison. They're saying that they took her to a 14-day coronavirus isolation cell. And, oh man, just how absurd or how poetic would that be if we learned in like 5 days that Ghislaine somehow contracts coronavirus? Anyway, don't put that out the realm of possibility. It is the year 2020 after all. And the lawyers for Jeffrey Epstein's victims are claiming that more British women have come forward as she blasts Prince Andrew for playing cat and mouse with U.S. prosecutors. He's been doing that for a long, long time. This particular article here came out and said Prince Andrew is canceling his annual golf trip in Spain after G-Max was arrested. So these guys are on the run now. Prince Andrew, he's on the run. Has anybody seen Bill Clinton lately? What's his next public appearance? Let's see if he's still making that. Jean-Luc Brunel, like a lot of these other folks, implicated and involved and directly connected. Oh man, I can't wait to see where this goes, because every single day we're hearing that Ghislaine basically has it all. Here's an exclusive from the Daily Mail. She has copies of everything Epstein had, and I would probably say far more, far, far more. Ghislaine has a secret stash of pedo sex tapes that could implicate the world's most powerful, and she's going to use them to save herself because her pompous, rich ass, doesn't want to be in prison. They don't treat child sex traffickers good in prison. It's like the scum of the scum. If you have a pedo that goes to prison, they usually get their ass kicked by all the other convicts in there because I guess somehow these felons have a conscience sometimes. But anyway, yeah, she does not want to be in prison, so no doubt she's going to bring out all of that stuff. And it is awesome to see how this idea is making it mainstream. And what I mean by that is that a year ago when Epstein was arrested, the idea of elite pedophilia, of wealthy individuals being involved in child sex trafficking, that started to get into the mainstream. And that started to, I guess we could say, not surprise people anymore, which was great. But then the next step, going a little deeper, is of course, well, it wasn't just that they were pedos preying on teenagers and did it a few times. No, it was an operation for specific means and goals and ends. And it wasn't just a few times, it was a lot of times. And it wasn't just a few people, it was a lot of people. And they purposefully tried to get blackmail on them to leverage them and control them. That idea is now getting into the mainstream. We're taking this a little bit deeper, and people are beginning to not really be surprised by that. They're like, oh, it makes total sense. Check this out. Shout out to Methods on Twitter. He posted this excerpt from Dan Bongino's podcast yesterday. And that's basically what Dan Bongino was talking about here. He was discussing how a lot of high-profile people, household names, are soon going to become household names for not good reasons. And that these blackmail tapes, it was interesting. He was in his podcast talking about how there's been these rumors for years about these things, and we're all sitting here just like, yeah, Anons know. If you've been following Q, you know. And I'm sure Dan Bongino's been following Q for a long time. So awesome to see all of this go mainstream and begin to take the conversation down a little deeper. So we now have more information that's bringing Obamagate or FISAgate or whatever you want to call it back into the limelight. First up, we have new evidence that came out that was turned over to Flynn that shows the DOJ doubted the criminal case against Trump advisor. Again, more information just in continuous succession that's been coming out, and it's going to continue coming out until we get these indictments unsealed and public. That just shows it was all a scam. It was all a complete scam. They just wanted to spy on Flynn, spy on Trump to set them up, and it went all the way to the top. Went up through the directors of the three-letter agencies like John Brennan and Clapper to Obama to Soros as well. So that's that. Also yesterday we have Chuck Grassley saying that John Durham will be too late if prosecutions begin after the 2020 election. So this is good stuff. He's trying to basically, rally the troops, say that we need to get this moving. So Grassley is saying that. And then at the very same time, we had John Solomon do an interview on Lou Dobbs' show yesterday on Fox. And he said that we could see Obamagate indictments around Labor Day. So that's not too far. It's about a month and a half out, almost 2 months. Could see Obamagate indictments around then. Now, disinformation is necessary, of course. I'm not bought and sold on that date just because John Solomon said it and just because John Solomon is, favored by Q, been featured in Q's Drops before, so he's got sources that are legit. Now, that being said, again, could this Labor Day date be some sort of disinformation just to make the bad guys think it's going to be around Labor Day and have them make a mistake? Maybe. Or this could be legit and we're going to see an Obamagate indictment soon. Now, we're far along enough now where when I hear something like this, I think it could be true. I think, yeah, maybe we could get Obamagate indictments by Labor Day. Maybe we'll see them sooner. And this was purposeful disinformation to make the bad guys think it's way far out when really it might be even sooner than that. I don't know. We'll see. But point is, fireworks are coming. Great fireworks are coming because we have Ghislaine Maxwell, who's going to light up a bunch of stuff, but we also have the Obamagate indictments, and it's going to be a very hot summer, as Q said, and I am excited for that. So that's it for this one, guys. I appreciate you for tuning in yet again. If you want to support this work, you can go to Patreon. Link for that will be in the description below. I do some exclusive stuff on there, product giveaways, live chats, things like that. You can also go to consciousstrength.net. That's my health and supplement brand. I've got some neat products available on the website there that you can check out. Find me on social media as well, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all down there. Description will be below. Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon. Till next time.